Tires, get a good setup, then bolt on the reds, brand new tires near the end of the session when the track's at its best, find a clear piece of racetrack and really go for gold.
Minardi Team USA car.
Speedy Dan.
And Paul Stoddard really enjoying his first year as a co-owner of a team in Champ Car. After finishing up in Formula One and going along for that ride, just the pressure's off a little bit here, and said he likes the fact that it's relatively a more level playing field.
He enjoys the atmosphere as well.
I think so. I think he's having a lot more fun here. That time of Paul Tracy's overall is right there now on your screen, 1:35.022. We divide this circuit up into 3 sectors. A nice little moment for Speedy Dan coming out of turn 12. Interesting also to note here, the qualifying timing line is different to the start-finish race line. The qualifying timing line is further back towards turn 12 because of the entry into pit lane. And then when we get going into race conditions, the start-finish line regularly, where we're used to seeing it, halfway down that Gold Coast Highway main straight.
Well, something interesting, that it seems as though the biggest problems over the last couple of days has been the brakes and the springs and shock packages, because this track is so bumpy. And it appears, though, the drivers, instead of battling each other out on the track, seem to be battling this track itself. It usually, we see drivers kind of battling each other, but because of these conditions and how bumpy this track is, they're just trying to get their setup right. And that's what seems to be the #1 enemy, is this track.
Michelle Beisner and Aaron Noonan covering the Champ Cars in pit lane for us. And I mentioned that to you the other day here, James, and we were sitting here watching these guys go around, and it's such a bumpy circuit. It throws the cars around. It looks as though you're just holding on for dear life the whole way. And I said to you, take a look at what it's doing to these cars. And you said, what about your back?
Yeah, well, that's just the thing. I mean, when you're sat inside these race cars, they do sit so low. The suspension is so stiff, very little travel. Sebastian pulls out of the way there to let another car go by. That the drivers really do take a beating. Your back gets sore, your head really gets tossed around over these bumps. You can lose your point of reference on the racetrack. So it's going to be a very long afternoon on Sunday. You've got to be very, very precise with your hand movements and with the placing of the car, obviously, when there's walls on either side of the racetrack like this. So very, very difficult conditions for these drivers.
Dan Clarke's just done a whoopsie. That's what he's just done. No, into the tyre wall. He just completed his quickest lap at 33.059. And coming into turn 1, he is facing the wrong way on this circuit.
The visor is up. That is the driver's indication to the safety crew that the engine is dead. He does need help. They're going to throw a red flag, which is out now. I mean, he has just cleared the tire wall, but I don't think he will have done any damage to the car there. The rear wing looks intact. It wasn't a very hard hit at all. He was very, very lucky to get away with no damage at that part of the racetrack.
Right there, if you take a look to the right-hand side of your screen, from where Dan is parked right now, that's the danger zone. If you go in shallow enough here without full speed, you can end up in that position. If you go in deeper, you will clip the wall Bourdais style. So he's lost it right there. And by now, he's well and truly backed out of it. So a little nudge into the tyre wall, not too much damage, hardly anything to speak of.
One of the things unique, guys, with Champ Car racing, of course, is there's no onboard starters with these cars. So when they stall, the driver can't restart it. Now, that was a feature that was going to be on the brand new